Hi and welcome back to my channel. Today is day one of our 2023 So Jolly Quilty and Stitchy Ornament Sew Along, Stitch Along, however you want to call it. So every year for the last 3 years I've been doing quilty and stitchy ornaments. I have had a different theme for both. Last year I did classic quilty and stitchy. The year before that, I did 12 days of quilty and stitchy ornaments. So each year it's a different theme. This year's theme is So Jolly, which means we have a sewing theme. These are so cute. You probably saw my release video back in September, but today is launching off our kickoff for our sew along, which means we're all gonna be sewing and stitching along. I have created a Facebook group for this where we can all share our progress and our finishes, because I know some of you are gonna be using different color choices than what I did, and probably even finishing them differently than I did. And I thought a Facebook group would be fun so we can share them with each other. If you missed my launch in September, here is what the patterns look like. You can get them both in my store. Here's the stitchy version and the quilty version. All the information on what you're going to need is in them. I'm not sure if we still have kits left, but you can check both my store for the stitchy kits and you can check Catching Stitch's store for the quilting kits if she has any left. We launched them back in September, so if they're sold out, I apologize. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Each day I'm going to be doing a really short video here on YouTube highlighting both the quilty and stitchy versions. So I'm going to be going by the order that the stitchy ornaments are going in. The quilty ornaments are numbered a little bit differently, but they all do have sort of a matching counterpart. And I wanted to show the two that go together at the same time. So hopefully that's not going to be confusing for you. You can sew them or stitch them in any order you like. I'm just going to be featuring them here on YouTube with the two that actually go together. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at day number one. Here is the stitchy version. Ornament number one has this cute little tomato pin cushion. It also has some little pins coming out of it, and of course the adorable little strawberry coming off the side, and then I have a few little pins down here on the bottom. Now the only thing that might be new to you in this are these little stitches right here. They're called back stitches. They're very easy to do. So it's just really one long stitch where those little pins are. So hopefully that makes sense. So like this little diagonal thing is just one long stitch. Also, I have a finishing video here on YouTube for these as well that will be coming soon, so you can see how I finished those as well if you want to finish them on these little ornaments. The ornaments themselves, the little pie tins, are from Fat Quarter Shop, and then I also got the round sticky board that I mounted my stitching on from Fat Quarter Shop as well. And these are just called, I think they're called Tart Tin Ornaments. And then they actually have it as a recommendation which circle fits inside there. So you'll want to follow that if you go to their website. And then this is one of the Stitching with Housewives red gingham ribbon. And so I just got a couple packs of those, I think, and used that for the ribbon on top. Also, when I mounted this, I did put a little piece of batting in between my stitching and the sticky board. I just wanted to make it stand out a little bit more, you know, since it's being kind of sunken down into this pie tin. You could even use 2 layers of batting. I didn't, but you definitely could if you wanted to. So that's how I did mine. And like I said, there'll be a finishing video coming soon, so stay tuned. This is stitched with all DMC floss, and then my background fabric is 14 count Aqua's Weigart. If you want to finish it on something else like a white or even a black, then you might just need to change anywhere in the pattern that's calling for the white. You could just change that out for a different fabric. I think this would be cute on white with an aqua tier tray as well. So you could totally do that. It would just be really easy to do that. So just note, if you're stitching on something else, there is a lot of white in these. And if you do the full piece, there's white in that as well. So you just need to swap that out with another color. The quilty version of the tomato pin cushion looks like this, super cute. And I'm just gonna lift my bow out of the way so you can see the full pattern. We've got some little hand stitching for the pins on there, and then I just stitched a couple of buttons on there. Very, very cute and super easy. If you got the kit from us, the buttons were included, so that will be really cute and easy for you. And then I sewed it right side together with this red gingham backing, flipped it right side out, and then just stitched up my opening. Now, a little tip on these: when I was trying to figure out where to leave my opening to turn them right side out, I just found the side that had the least amount of seams on it, and I made sure I backstitched right here just to make sure those seams wouldn't pop before, you know, when I was turning them right side out. Also, if you're using some Mary Ellen's Best Press or starch before you do that, that will be helpful as well. And then I went ahead and did this cute mini palm trim on there, and I think it turned out really cute, but I am not gonna lie, that stuff was a pain to work with. So I went back and forth between hand stitching them on and machine stitching them. In the end, in the long run, I ended up hand stitching them because I felt like I had a little bit more control. Even with a zipper foot, my machine was still just pushing these little pom-poms out, and there was lots of places where they just weren't sewn. So it was a little bit of a hassle to add these poms. I think they look really cute, so I feel like in the long run, it was okay. And if you are gonna do it, I would highly recommend hand stitching them on instead of machine stitching. I will also have a finishing video for these coming soon as well, so stay tuned for that. For right now, just make all of your little tops as we're stitching along, and then I recommend just finishing them all at once because it's just a little bit easier to do it that way. But you can finish them as you go if you want. I basted my front top to some fusible batting because I didn't want to quilt on these. You could also do some hand quilting or machine quilting. That would be really cute. I chose not to this year. And then, like I said, I put it right sides together with the backing fabric, turned it right side out, closed that opening, and then hand stitched this little mini palm trim around the back edge. So it's just peeking out around the front, and I think it looks just fine on the back. And then I added a little rickrack handle, and then I finished it off by sewing a ribbon or tying a ribbon to my handle. It's not sewn to the ornament, it's just tied to the handle. You could even scoot it up a little bit if it's getting in the way of your design. And just a little tip I have for you on this, these outer pieces are a little bit larger than these inside pieces, so just be really careful to follow the illustrations in the pattern when you're sewing them together, so that those, I even actually messed it up the first time I did it, so I wasn't paying attention to my own pattern. It's okay, it happens. So just pay attention when you're doing it. That would be my main tip for you on this one. The other tip I have for all of these ornaments is that these pieces are obviously small. These finish at about 4 by 4, so the pieces are tiny. So the best thing in my opinion would be to either pre-starch your fabric, or you can just spray all your fat quarters with Mary Ellen's Best Press. That's what I did. Just spray it, get them really nice and starched before you start cutting and sewing, and that's gonna just really help all these tiny pieces be a little bit more accurate. Here's what the Best Press looks like. It's just a spray, and I do have a video on how to use this here on YouTube, but essentially you just spray the front of your fat quarter or whatever you're using, your fabric, your scraps. These would be great for scraps. You press it until it's dry. You can be done then, or you can flip it over and do the same thing to the back side. That'll just give you like extra starching, and that's just really going to help from the keeping your pieces accurate, and they won't be stretching and stuff like that since you're working with some really small pieces. And then here's what they are again together. Like I mentioned, the quilty one's finished at about 4 by 4. The stitchy one's finished. The stitching is about 2 by 2. The pie tin is about 3 by 3. So that's going to be it for ornament number 1. I think I covered all the details and stuff for the entire sew along on here. I will link our Facebook page below, and all the patterns will be linked below as well. And then if we have any left, you can get the stitchy kits from my shop and the quilty kits from Catching Stitches in her kits section. So that's going to be it for day 1. I'll be back here tomorrow for day 2 of our Quilty and Stitchy 2023 Sew With Me ornaments. I hope you're sewing along with us and having a lot of fun. Don't forget to share your progress. You can tag me on social media at Erica Arndt, or you can share them also in our Facebook group so we can all see what you're making. Merry Christmas, day 1, and I will see you in the next video for day 2. I show how to do those in my how to cross stitch video. Did I? Stitchy ones finished at about 2 by 2. These pie tins I think are just almost 3 inches. Not quite, are they? Yeah. And if we have any kits left, you can get the stitchy kits from my shop and the quilty kits from Carrie at Catching Stitch.